I get a phone call and it's her. So I run out to the street corner so I can talk to her. And she's like, hey, is this Megan? And I'm like, yes, it is. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was calling to speak to the female Morphling. And I started like bawling and
Oh, that's cool.
screaming. And then I couldn't tell anybody for like a solid 6 weeks. The director's going to call you. By this time, I'd read the books, and they were always talking about the Morphling being skeletal and drug addict skinny. And so then Francis called me, and he's like, hey, are you cool with losing a little bit of weight for this? I was like, yeah. I said, no problem. I said, but I don't want to like Christian Bale this. Like, I want to lose weight in a healthy way, right? I'm not going to be eating boiled eggs and drinking bourbon or whatever you did for the machine. I started telling everybody, I'm prepping for a film, and when they would ask me, I'd say it's just a really low budget indie film. And then no one asks you any more questions after that, right?
Yeah.
And when it finally got announced that I was in Hunger Games, like even one of my friends like posted on my wall some low budget indie film.
On this episode of the Share Life podcast, I'm speaking with a powerhouse of the Atlanta acting scene whose career has transitioned from local stages to some of the most iconic sets in the world. Megan Hayes, say hello.
Hey there.
Glad to have you here. Megan has a few critters that may be chiming in. Tell us about these critters.
So I have 3 dogs. I collect strays. So I have a problem. So I have 3 dogs, and then I have been fostering 4 kittens. They were found on the wedding property that I've been working at as a side hustle. And I'm not even a cat person, but I love them. They're great. And if anybody wants a cat, please.
We
They're great. And I know everybody says that about their animal, but they're really good cats. They're awesome. And I'm not even a cat person. So
Now, most of you that are watching know Megan as the District 6 Morphling in the blockbuster The Hunger Games Catching Fires, a performance that remains a fan favorite for its incredible heart and vulnerability. And I've been lurking in some of the message boards to see what people have talked about your performance. So it's pretty interesting to see that you have like this whole lore around it.
I had no idea. That's amazing.
Anyways, Megan's credits are vast and include projects like Apple TV's Manhunt, the recent indie film Slanted, and the TV series Halt and Catch Fire, among many, many others. But Megan doesn't just inhabit stories, she also is a creator, having expanded her craft into writing and directing, covering the full gamut of creative storytelling. And so she's got a lot of projects that she's done and a lot of them that are on her horizon. But her momentum is only accelerating. I recently caught her in 2 of the biggest projects on screen, the holiday action adventure Red One with The Rock, and the final chapter of the cultural phenomenon Stranger Things, where she joins the Hawkins family as Mrs. Miller, which is actually her second time on the show. But long before the arenas of Pan Am or the mysteries of the Upside Down, Megan and I were collaborators right here in Atlanta. Shortly after I moved to the city, we worked together on a Super Bowl commercial contest for Heinz Ketchup, where she actually fell in love with and got engaged to a ketchup bottle. We're going to talk more about that and what happened in that relationship. But she also starred in an unfinished short film I wrote and directed called Escape. So it's been a privilege and just a fun experience to watch you from the distance as you've gone through your indie days to the big screen where I go to the movie theater and I say, hey, there's Megan. So welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. That makes me so happy. Like I said, I had completely forgotten about that Heinz commercial. Truly a career highlight. That was so fun.
So I'll play a clip of it for everyone, and then we'll talk about it.
See this clip. Yes.
Yeah. So I think the best place to start is to talk about Stranger Things, because that just happened. Here I am watching the final season of Stranger Things, and up on my TV is Megan again, stalking me from afar.
We love it.
So I want to pull up this picture because you've actually been preparing for this role since the 4th grade.
That's right.
And I think everyone needs to see just how striking your new role as Mrs. Miller is. So tell us about this.
I mean, okay, so that was my 4th grade school picture, and 100% my mom dressed me. I don't think I did not have purple corduroy pants to matches that dark purple plaid in my shirt. But yeah, like I grew up in the 80s, obviously, clearly. But yeah, when they put that outfit on me, it was like it didn't even occur to me until because I snapped that selfie
Yeah.
You can't really, like, show that selfie until everything's dropped, and then it occurred to me, I'm like, "Oh my god, I look just like my 4th grade, like, photo."
So tell what was it like now this is your second time on Stranger Things. What were these 2 experiences like? What's being on set of something like that?
I mean, it's great. They're everybody's so nice. Everybody's just so pumped, to be there, and I had a great time. Like, I didn't like, both scenes I had were with, I didn't really I only met Finn and Caleb just, like, in passing this last time, and then before it was the scenes with, Dustin and Steve, Caleb and Dayton, and they were all like, everybody's so nice. They're, like, happy to be there. I even remember, Dustin telling me he thought that, the Morphlings, like, I needed my part should have been bigger in Hunger Games. I'm like, "Why are you you're telling me weakness, lowly me?" But yeah, like, everyone was so I didn't meet a Duffer Brother, they weren't there on set. Sean Levy directed, or is it Levy or Levy? Sean he directed the first episode from season 3, and then we had a second unit director working on with us on the episode 4, where, like, they were shooting everything, like, all at once, except for
Oh,
episode
okay.
8. And even I asked the
Yeah.
costume designer, who Amy Paris, amazing. She did the wardrobe for me for season 3 as well. But at that point, no one had seen episode 8, that they were not showing it to anybody. No one was gonna looking at it or anything. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, everybody'd seen the episodes up till 8, but the last one was just really on lockdown, which is smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, it was I've been really, knock on wood, I've really lucked out. I've had mostly wonderful experiences when I'm on set.
you know some actors that have had the opposite of that? Is that is that what you're
I
implying?
I shot a commercial once that I didn't have a good time, but, that was years ago. But, like, yeah, no, I mean, it's a gamble anywhere you're working. Like, are the people gonna be nice? Is anybody gonna be
Mhm.
divas? Are you gonna be a diva? Any of that. But I've like, been very fortunate, and every set I've worked on, everybody's been a total pro and been really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's go back to that 4th grade version of you. Were you an aspiring actress at that moment?
No, I was super shy,
Oh, wow.
very introverted, and I don't even I think at that point, didn't everybody at some point in their life wanted to be a veterinarian? Like, that might have been the thing I wanted.
I mean, I wanted to be like a mailman, but
Oh,
hey, that's
yeah,
close.
any of that. So, yeah, I think I was maybe taking a dance class then, but none of the bug had hit me at all. Like, I was so this is Gigi, everyone, and I was
Hello,
so
Gigi.
shy that it wasn't even in my orbit. Like, I
Mm,
do know that at that age, I was, like, obsessed with Greek mythology, so I did love
yeah.
good stories, but other than that,
Mm. Was there a favorite that you had in terms of the mythologies? Like, did you like one character or story
I mean,
more
I
than
was always
another?
big like, I love Aphrodite, I love all and I loved, like, the mystery of all around the Sphinx and all of that, so and I loved Athena.
So,
She's badass.
okay. Yeah, yeah. So how does that evolve as you get older?
You mean into, like, me knowing I wanted to be a performer?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
hit me I know the exact day. It was, like, October
Oh, okay.
17th, 1987.
Wow. So I was 3 at the time.
What? I was only 6. What?
So what happened? Did you slip on the ice and hit your
No,
head?
God, I wish. No, I saw my first Broadway show. Like, I'd never
Oh,
yeah. I saw a show. I saw the this is so cliche, Jason. I saw, like, the original Broadway cast of Les Mis, and I know, like, everyone's like, there's such a generation of Les Mis being their creative, like, acting launching point, but it was for me. And I remember, again, couldn't stop sobbing. And then I, like,
wow.
walked it was and the reason I know that is because I kept the ticket stub for, like, forever.
Oh,
And I
okay.
know that it was
Wow.
the day. But yeah, like, I walked out of the theater and walked over to my mom, and I was like, I wanna be an actor. I wanna do that
Okay.
when I grow up." And I had
Wow.
wanted to do by then, I had wanted to do a bunch of different things. I think the most recent one before that was, like, I wanted to be a, journalist for Rolling Stone magazine. I thought that would be a cool
Mhm.
job. So I was always switching what I wanted to be. I was always changing my mind, but this one stuck.
Yeah.
And finally, my mom, acquiesced and said, "We can get you if you want to take an acting class, you can take an acting class." So
Okay. So how does that play out in like throughout middle and high school?
I started doing like the shows, but I went to a really small private school in Atlanta, and their attitude was very hippie. Like, if you auditioned, you got a part. If you, like, signed up, you put on the sport, you played. Like, so
Yeah.
had I been in any because again, super shy, and had I been in any kind of environment that had any kind of rejection around it, I probably would not have tried out. But since it was like everybody gets a part, I tried out for the school musical in 10th grade and was devastated that I wasn't like the sexy lead, which I was like 15 years old. Like, you know, but I got the comedic lead, and I again was devastated because I wanted to be a very serious actress. But then, like the night of the show, when I heard someone laugh at something I said, it was like a drug. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, wait, this. And so that kind of from there, I didn't, it wasn't we weren't my high school wasn't like a performing arts school or anything like that. I think it's probably better for me that way. Cause again, I even still don't do competition really
Uh-huh.
well and that cutthroat attitude. I've never had any interest in doing that either. And then,
Yeah.
after high school, I went to a liberal arts college for a year and was like,
So what year was that?
uh, that was in 91, 92. Watching the
Okay.
season finale of Stranger Things, I'm like, "Oh, we would have gone to high school together." So I went to a college in Ohio, a great school, but it was a liberal arts school, and I knew it was then that I knew I wanted to just be doing, like, just acting. And so I
Mm.
had to take a couple years off to, like, save up money and whatnot, but then I auditioned and got into NYU, and then in 94 headed to school and studied acting there. And I grad
What happens between 95 and 2005?
Well, I stayed in New York,
Oh, okay.
till 2002. I was actually in New York during September 11th, and,
Oh, wow.
kind of the fabric of the city kind of changed and, for obvious reasons, and
Were you in the city when it
I was
happened?
in the city.
What
And
was what was that day like for you?
crazy. I mean, I'm it's just devastating and quiet. It was really, weirdly quiet in the city because no cars were driving, no taxis were going, all transportation was shut down.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a very eerie and scary. But then like you saw the best of New Yorkers. Everyone was just incredible
Yeah.
to each other.
Could you see what was happening from where you were?
No, I couldn't see anything.
Okay.
I could smell, like, the burning, which it's horrible. But, yeah, I couldn't see anything. But, my friend lived at and I didn't lose anybody, thank God. But my friend who lived in Brooklyn had to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge that day because I just
Oh, wow.
everything was shut down. It was the whole New York changed, like, for me, New York kind of became a sad place for several years. And I think, I mean, it's definitely it's by long recovered and bounced back and everything. But it was a very hard time to be there and to be an artist there because everything was closing. No one was coming to visit. So I
Mm.
decided I either needed to make a move to another city or maybe change professions. And I wasn't ready to do that yet. And I was thinking about going to Chicago, but 2002's winter was one of the coldest winters in history. And I was like, nope, not going to do that again. So then I came back to Atlanta and started doing theater in Atlanta.
Okay. And what part of Atlanta were you doing theater?
My first show was in Marietta, and
Okay.
then kind of all over. I've worked most
Do you know what year that was?
that was all of '02. Did a
Okay.
show at Theater in the Square.
And you did stuff at Marietta for a few years, right?
Here and there. I mean, yeah, Marietta, and then also, I worked at the Alliance eventually. I worked my favorite theater, one of my favorite theaters to work at is the Horizon Theater in Little Five Points. Like I love them. So I've
Yeah. I mean, I have a memory that's coming back that I
mm,
saw some show you were in,
tell me, you
but I
do?
can't remember, like, it would have been, 2005 to 2007.
Would it have been the mirror?
It could have been. I don't remember the name. I just remember that that I saw you on the stage, but
You saw me try the boards? It could have been it could have been something at Georgia Ensemble in Roswell.
okay,
I've
it
worked
could
with
have been.
Aurora too in Lawrenceville.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get more details.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll see.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We're sleeping, we got this.
So, theater work. So, had you done anything on screen at that point, or was it all, stage
All
related?
stage. I didn't start doing any kind of on-camera stuff till I was in my 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a late bloomer to that.
Okay, and it was there a reason you decided to make the pivot versus just staying on the stage side of it?
I was in a play called Be Aggressive, and the a there it's totally like an old school story. These agents came to see one of their clients was in the show with me, and the agents stayed after to be like, "Hey, we think you're really talented. You want to come? We'll sign. You want to come in and do some on camera stuff, and we'll sign." And they signed me, and even then, that was about 05 or 6. But even then, like I didn't really start really booking things. It took a while. Like I didn't really start
Yeah.
booking things until
Did you get an agent right away, or how did you get
when they
into it?
saw me in the show. They became my agent. And then I bounced around a
Oh, okay.
little bit, agents wise. And then the writer's strike happened like 08, 09. I pivoted again and became like a middle school drama teacher for a calendar year, Holy
Oh, wow.
Innocents. And then it was after I left that in 2010, around 11, 12 is when I started really booking things on camera.
And was that something that the agent was getting aggressive, or did you do stuff to kinda make that
No, my
happen?
agent, I like Chase Paris, who is a casting director now. He's like single-handedly the reason I have a career because he submitted me for push for the casting director for Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns to see me because I had no credits. This was in I think 2011.
Yeah.
And I booked that. And so
Okay.
he got me my Hunger Games audition. He casts Stranger Things. So like he is one of the main reasons I have a career. Like and I
Oh,
tell
okay.
him that like all the time. Like he was an
Yeah.
agent out in talent and then he moved to doing his own casting. But he really like he got me my Eastbound and Down audition. Like he got me all my really good first stuff.
Yeah, to build that.
Yeah, it's great. It really helps to have somebody like in your corner who's also capable of like pushing for you.
Yeah, making stuff happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And those first ones are assumed the hardest to get?
I mean, it's none of it's easy, but yeah, the first ones are the hardest to get because no one necessarily. This is back when you would go in person,
Uh-huh.
and he like didn't even know who I was, and he's like, just give her a chance, and there you have it. So
Yeah. So we met a few years, I guess, before that. What year do you
yes,
remember what that
we
was?
were doing Fark TV. That was another
Oh,
great
yeah.
break for me as well. So we bet
So
around.
what you
Yes, that's not true. I was doing on camera stuff. I guess more like monetarily, like
Yeah.
yeah, like SAG stuff.
Oh, okay.
No, so we met in '07.
It's somewhere around then.
Yeah.
It was between 2005 and 2008, I think,
Yeah.
somewhere in that window. So I was doing contract work for a company. There was a guy there that you knew that I needed an actor for a Super Bowl commercial
What?
contest. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this commercial
Oh my
for
god, are we really
everyone.
watching it? Oh my god, I can't wait.
We're gonna watch it, and everyone can see your awesome performance. And we're gonna figure out the backstory, what happened here.
Gigi's ready to see it too.
Look at that ring.
I mean,
There's your house.
oh my god, the floating ketchup. Whose house is that?
I don't know. I think we just drove into a neighborhood and did it.
I know. Well, I think we were at my like Cross Creek home when the proposal happened. That proposal was great.
So tell us what happened in this relationship. I mean, did you
Oh,
guys
I mean, it was so fun at first, but then everybody loves him. I couldn't keep him.
everyone wanted a little ketchup?
I have ketchup and then package. I mean, I can't compete with that. It was really fun at first, very romantic, full of flavor.
I mean, what did you we gotta tell me about this ring. What did
I
you do to
mean,
the
that
ring? Did
ring
you
is,
sell it?
I don't even know where we got that ring.
It was probably a prop rig,
Commercial. So
Or maybe we asked someone at the next table, "Hey, can we borrow your
can we
ring
borrow
for
your
this
ring?
shot?"
Yes. I mean, and I love that everything goes to color. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I didn't notice that it's grit black and I mean, I knew we did that, but I forgot we did that.
Yeah, and also my
Uh,
veil is.
yeah, was that where did we get that wedding dress?
I don't know. Yeah, that veil. Look at that. The flowers on that. It's so good.
All right, so we end up doing another project. I'm gonna pull this up
Oh my
here.
god, I remember Noodlehead.
Yeah, Noodlehead Studios. There was a couple other folks. We had Cara Mantella and
Oh my God, Kara's the
Chris.
best. She's having quite a huge career. She's having a great career on camera.
Yeah, I always love seeing her on screen as well.
Yeah, she's good.
This is the her and Chris Moses. Do you stay in
Oh
touch
my
with Chris
God,
at all?
Chris Moses. I haven't talked to him in forever.
This is a little short film we did. I wasn't able to finish it because I didn't get all the footage I needed.
Right.
But this is a trailer for that movie, so we're gonna go
Oh,
ahead and
hell
watch
yes.
this.
I haven't seen it. This is amazing. Jesse! Kara!
It was all in the
I
forest.
need you to tell me what you know.
Yes! Oh, this trailer's great. I want to watch this movie. Yes. Oh my God, that is
So
so good.
do you remember those few weekends we filmed that?
Running like crazy. And like Kara was the bad guy, right?
Yeah, she was the villain.
Love it. She's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, she's good. Then we did one other thing, which was a Land of Oz pitch. I won't show the whole thing,
Oh
but
my
because it's like
God, I
5 minutes. But do you
forgot
remember?
Jason? God, yes. Bring back.
Hey, I'm Megan Hayes, and this is my pitch for the broadband series, The Land of Oz. So, the series, The Land of Oz, is about a young woman named Abigail, and she's forced to leave her community and go live with the Barrow family in the Land of Oz trailer park in Opelika, Alabama. So, let me introduce you to a few of those characters.
That's right. She was Amish, and she was in
Yes.
the she goes into the witness protection.
Yeah. So this is all filmed at our little homeowners association property. So you go through the different characters. There's the Waffle House waitress, I guess.
Oh yeah, Cricket. That's right. We had the brother. Oh my God, that I had you are taking me back. Yes.
She did what video pitch? This is Daddy.
Yes. I think it was like, yeah, it was, there was a video pitch. They were doing some kind of, oh my God, I forgot all about that. That is hilarious.
So we do a couple projects, and then we kind of don't really see each other till today,
I know.
other than through Facebook.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about the Land of Oz, man, trailer park.
Yeah, I think it was like, hey, we did these projects. Could you help me out? And I was like, sure. And so I filmed this for you. I assume nothing went of it in terms of.
No, I did enter the contest. I mean, look,
Oh, okay.
how it all works out. Like, hey, we work together. Let's do it again. Like that's the best.
Yeah, one thing leads to the next.
Absolutely.
So now you kind of get these roles. Like, talk to us about Hunger Games. What was that like?
Oh, that was wonderful. I auditioned for. It was when self-taping was sort of becoming like the thing
interesting.
to do.
Like for auditions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I remember I put it together like really fast. I did it at this place called Get Taped with Matt Cornwall. It taped me. Basically, in the audition, I had to see the monkey, get attacked by the monkey, and die, right? But nothing is there, right?
Oh, that was all in your audition?
Oh, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I can't remember. I collapsed onto a chair, but yeah. And then, you don't think anything of it. It takes a lot. TV's really fast. You audition for a TV show, if you don't hear in a week, that means you didn't get it, Film can take forever. So I auditioned, and then they send it in, done and done. Then I got a call back, And when I did the first round of auditions, I didn't know anything about the Hunger Games. Please don't tell
Don't tell anyone.
storyline, anything. And then when I got the call back, I had enough time, one, to panic, and two, everything. So I like read Hunger Games and Catching Fire in like 3 days or something like that. I'm like, oh my God, this is
Wow.
really good. So, and then the callback was in Atlanta, right off of Chattahoochee. And it's crazy because it was in this big warehouse, but still they managed to be, and you're in like the smallest room
Mhm.
possible. And it's like you, the casting director, the director, the reader, and then like there's so many people like crammed into a room. And
Yeah.
I was the first person at the callbacks for my role because they were like trying to figure it out. They're like, do we want to, like, I'm in the room and they're like, do we want to do the same thing they did last time? What do we want to do with the Morphling? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember I was so nervous. And I was like, I'm just going to stay focused. And my acting coach like broke it down for me. He's like, these are your beats that you have to do. That's all you have to do. It's like, you see the monkey, you protect PETA, you die. Right. And so then I went and there was no chair in the room or anything. That was the only thing I did before the audition. I was like, can I go get a chair? And they got a chair for me. And then Francis Lawrence was in the room, such a gem of a human. And he made me die over and over. I probably died like 4 or 5 times. He would give me these redirects. And they're like these impossible directions, but you're like, oh yeah, I got it. He's like, can you die, but can you see the fear in your eyes, and then you realize you're dying, but then you're peaceful about it, but then you're also seeing the sunset. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. Like you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And so then we did it over and over and over again. And then I had to go and do it. I had a gig in Miami where I was like a corporate gig. So I had to like fly to Miami like the next day. So
And this was in Hawaii you were filming for Hunger Games, right?
yes, that's right. Well, we shot a bunch in Atlanta and then we went to Hawaii, and my character was the only like local hire that was still alive to like make it to the games that were in Hawaii. So, but it was amazing. But so then I go away and do the gig in Miami, kind of forget about, and then she called me. She's like, we need you to come in and sign something. And I'm like, an NDA.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I go in and I come in and I sign the non-disclosure agreement. And she's like, now this could mean something, but it could mean nothing. Which I'm like, okay, well, that's okay.
That doesn't help you.
That doesn't help me at all. So then I go home and I had horrible cell phone reception in my house at Cross Creek. And so I get a phone call and it's her. So I run out to the street corner so I can talk to her. And she's like, hey, is this Megan? And I'm like, yes, it is. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was calling to speak to the female Morphling. And I started like bawling and
Well, that's cool.
screaming. And then I couldn't tell anybody for like
Wow.
a solid 6 weeks, I want to say. And I had to lose a ton of weight. So they said, they're like, the director's going to call you and see if you can, if you're comfortable with, and I knew I had read by this time I'd read the books, and they were always talking about the Morphling being skeletal and drug addict skinny. And so then Francis called me and he's like, hey, are you cool with I'm losing a little bit of weight for this? I was like, yeah. I said, no problem. I said, but I don't want to like Christian Bale this. Like I want to lose weight in a healthy way, right? Like, I'm not going to be eating boiled eggs and drinking bourbon or whatever you did for the machine. So they hooked me up with like a nutritionist, and I had to lose 12 pounds in like a month. So
Okay.
then now I'm losing weight and I can't tell anybody what I'm doing. I mean, I told my
Yeah.
mom and I told like,
So they're like, is something wrong? Are you good?
yeah,
You
everyone
look like
thought
you're
I
good.
was like dying or something. And then so finally I did, just like how the kid that played Derek was telling everyone that he was in a mayonnaise documentary. I started telling everybody I'm shooting a film. I'm prepping for a film. And when they would ask me, I'd say it's just a really low budget indie film. And then no one asks you any more questions after that, right?
Yeah. No one asked about that mayonnaise documentary, right?
That was so brilliant, but I wish I had thought of that. It's so genius. Yeah. So then when it finally got announced that I was in Hunger Games, like even one of my friends like posted on my wall some low budget indie short or indie film. Like, I know. But yeah, we started shooting in September. of 2012.
Yeah.
And then we wrapped right before Christmas of
Okay.
2012. So I had to stay.
So how come you had to only wait 6 weeks? Why could you tell it after that? Was there a trailer or something
There
that
was
came
like a
out?
trades announcement.
Okay.
Yeah, there was an announcement of who and all that. But we had
Okay.
already, I think we'd even been shooting for a few. I remember we shot for a couple of days, and then there were and then we had some time,
Yeah.
and then we were on a weekly. But yeah, like I had already shot a couple of days, I think, before they even announced
Yeah.
it. And
And
then,
is that how long did the shooting last? Like how long was it in
I
total?
mean, we were like, I was booked for like 52 days, but I only shot like half of those days. But that was, um, excuse me, but I had to be
Available.
available to shoot. And there were days where they called me and they're like, "We need you to come in today." And
Yeah.
it
So
was
if would you ever
honestly,
just go visit the set, or did you only go in if you were shooting?
I only went in if I was shooting. And there were days too where
Okay.
they would make me up completely and I would not be, you know, I
Got
would
it.
not shoot that day. And they were always like so apologetic. And I'm like, okay, you're paying me to come in and have a snack and
If you
sleep
need
in
me to take out the
a nap.
trash, I mean, I'll do
Yeah, exactly.
it.
Like, yeah, I would be home doing this, but I did have to like maintaining the weight loss and like staying. My body became
Oh,
really
okay.
fatigued eventually. So when we were in Hawaii, like from after Thanksgiving till right before Christmas. It was amazing, but my body was definitely like feeling the fatigue of, being
Interesting.
underweight. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
and it
so,
was so fun.
yeah, tell us what, like, any highlights or stories that are worth noting?
I mean, so okay, well, one story, like like a funny story. So, I'm playing this drug addict and the makeup artist who I'm still good friends with, V and Nicoletta. So they had painted on my arms like these nasty, track marks, like Requiem for a Dream nasty, right? And they took them like 2 hours to do. And we were shooting the same thing for a few days and they were like, "Hey, are you doing anything in the next few days?"
Mhm.
And I said, "No, not at all." And so they said, "Do you mind if we just keep the marks, like your makeup on because it's waterproof. You can shower. You just don't scrub it. And then that way all we have to do is retouches for the next few days." I said, "Not a problem." So it was chilly. It was September, but then as Atlanta does, we had this warm streak, right? So I remember I was at Publix shopping in short sleeves, completely forgot that I had track marks painted on my arm.
Uh,
And I remember grabbing a bunch of grapes to put into my little basket and
with
looking
that arm.
over. And this dad was clearly like covering his kid's eye. And I didn't like, what do you do? I don't, if I explain myself, forget it. I seem like more of a drug addict. So I just
You're digging a hole.
ran away. I ran
Yeah.
away. And then, yeah, well, once we were in Hawaii, they're like, you're at summer. It's like summer camp. I'd never shot this many. I'd never been on such a project for such a length of time. Usually it's like a day or a couple days.
Got it. Yeah, yeah.
And then once we're in Hawaii, we're all staying at the same hotel. And so Sam Claflin like started to invite me out places when they were all going somewhere. And I was
Yeah.
like the awkward kid, but they were so sweet. They all started like including me in things. And I was always like super quiet and like, I don't even know what I'm doing here, but I was always surrounded by the rest of the tributes who were all like wildly famous. So it was
Yeah.
great.
That's fun.
Everybody was so nice. And Josh Hutcherson and I have worked together twice now. And he is
What was the other project?
we did Future Man on Hulu
Okay.
together.
Oh, okay.
And I got that gig because I was nannying for the showrunner. And
Oh, okay.
they needed somebody. It's just a voiceover. If you haven't watched it, I play like this smart house I played James Cameron's smart house
Oh, okay.
in like
I haven't seen it.
future. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like it's ridiculous. It's a funny show. And in my part, I played Sigourney was the name of the house.
Oh, okay.
And I
Yeah.
like fall in love with one of the main characters, and you find out that I'm like miserable being James Cameron's house. And like all this, and so he like sets me free, like an Avatar style, And so I was nannying for the kids of the showrunner. And so I brought the
Yeah.
kids to set one day. because that's what I do. You know, you like with your
Oh, okay,
violin and
yeah.
your I've got 8 backpacks and a violin and like all the stuff. Josh like completely remembered me and was like hugging me and was so sweet. And
That's cool.
everybody that would come up to me and be like, "Oh, do you remember her from the Hunger Games?" She's like, "Yes, I remember her." Like it was nice. So then it all worked out that I ended up booking the part that I was reading for because they just wanted they
Oh,
wanted
cool.
an actor on set just to read the voice because the actors were having to talk to the voice, so interact with the voice so much that they had me come in and be the reader. And then Seth Rogen liked me so much that they just hired me, which was amazing. And
Yeah.
but yeah, like Josh is a sweetheart. Everyone on that Hunger Games set was just absolutely darling. And it's like summer camp. You're like, we're all sleeping in the same spot. Everybody goes out together. It was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And so what was it, tell us about your death scene, the actual recorded, the final cut.
Oh, okay. So my death, it took me like a month to die because I was dying in different areas. But the actual, like my close up was my first day on set in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And they had made me up, to match that banyan tree. And I just remember sitting around, and then they took me to set, covered me, with like a coat. So, paparazzi and whatever wouldn't be taking pictures. Not of me, but just
Oh.
of like story leakage, right? And we get to the spot where my actual close up is, and it is literally feet away from a pub, like a beach where people were like having cocktails, like just living their lives. And
Yeah.
and the sun was going down and they were like, we gotta go, and it's so much pressure. I was so scared to mess it up. And the water was so cold because even though it's Hawaii, the Pacific is colder,
Mhm.
you know? And so I think my fear of and cold of water, I did it in like 2 takes, and like Nina Jacobson was like, said, she's like, "You're making me tear up." But I did it in like under 3 takes. And that was
Yeah.
it, and it was done. And I was like, everybody's like, "Oh my god, you were so good." And I was like, "I think I was just so scared to mess up, like, that I used it." So
Yeah, so you channeled the nerves into something productive.
that's right.
Was there something about having such a positive experience that you think related to just getting that out of the way beginning?
I was so glad to have it out of the way afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know for me personally, if I have too much time to think about something, it can ruin it.
yeah.
So the fact that I had to do it really fast, the sun was going every time we shot we shot sunset for sunrise, in
Mhm.
various different locations. So like every time it was like trying to get the lighting right. That's why it took so long to get it.
Yeah,
But that shot, that gorgeous shot where we're all in silhouette, in the sunset, and Katniss is they're all watching me die. That is not CGI. That was the sunset that day.
yeah,
It's gorgeous. And again, Jen and Josh were so nice. They were ridiculous. They were so sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any other stories, from that project before we move on to the next?
One final story that was fun is two kind of related. So I have a very irrational fear of sharks. So
Okay.
me in an ocean. I mean, I love the ocean, but I also have some irrational fears.
Yeah.
So
So you watched Jaws too many times is
I
what you're
like
saying?
a child. Saw it as a ruined, like scared, scarred since like childhood. So, when they say standby and then they call action, sometimes several minutes can pass, but you're kind of in your spot ready to go. So I'm in Josh's arms and standby is taking forever. And his face is like really close to mine. And he starts singing the Jaws theme in my ear. I'm like, what is wrong? And he's like, you're covered in blood and we're shoving you out to sea. And I'm like, what is wrong? Then they had this little like floaty on my back when they did push me out to sea so I could lie really still and not have to keep myself afloat.
Hmm.
And so they pushed me out to sea while they're talking about how like we didn't even know her name and blah 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 blah. And I didn't know this, but I had so when you're in underwater and your ears are under, so all you can
Oh,
is like
yeah.
your own breathing and you can't
Uh-huh.
hear really anything else or your heart beating. So I'm floating just because I had floated past one of the buoy or the little platform that the camera was on, and I didn't hear them call cut, right? all I'm hearing is my own breathing. So the cameraman grabs my foot to let me know that we've cut, and the scream that I was just like, like no.
The shark got you.
Yeah, exactly. I like literally thought like, here she's floating, and then that's gonna be the scene. And everybody's like, that's the pig. She got eaten by a shark. Perfect.
Well, if anyone's watching and is, casting for the next shark movie,
Oh yeah,
I
I
think
could
Megan is
agree.
Shallows too. I think we could do this.
Yeah, we got Sharknado. Anyway, so yeah, I'll leave you with that story with Hunger Games. So me screaming my face off.
So you've been in a lot of other things. There's Manhunt.
Oh, that was so fun. You know, that was my first time working with a female showrunner.
Oh, okay. Tell us about that.
Oh, she was incredible. Monica Bletsky. I had also, again, it's TV, but I had a few days to actually do some proper research from when I got cast to when I went to Savannah to shoot. And she worked on my favorite television show of all time, The Leftovers, which have you seen
Oh,
it?
I love it. It's
The
amazing.
best. It's the best
Yes.
drama ever. I love that show. So anyway, she worked on that. And the DP for the show was the DP who shot the series finale of The Leftovers. So I
Oh,
was like
wow.
in heaven, first of all, right?
That's incredible.
So yeah, I did like I've worked with 3 female directors of photography, and that's it in my entire career, and like 1 female showrunner, pretty much.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was awesome. It was a well-run, oiled machine, and it was just such a fun. That was an incredible day. Like I had such a meaty part. Most of the guys that I worked with were on set were stuntmen from Black Panther, and just we all went out and had drinks afterwards, and it was great. It was such a fun day on set. And yeah, do I think there should be more lady showrunners? Absolutely.
Yeah. And Megan
Yeah.
is one of them, right?
That's hopefully one day. One day.
What other projects you want to talk about? Worth highlighting or that really resonate with you, stuck out, have some fun stories.
I mean, you're hitting all like my faves. I mean, I loved working on Eastbound and Down. Those guys were just the best, the absolute
Yeah.
legends. Like they were so fun and kind. And Danny McBride is just a complete gentleman. David Gordon Green, all those guys were so unbelievably respectful, incredibly fun, and we got to improvise a lot of our, like, Steve Littles and my like, sex scene, and it was just they were great. That was a really fun one too. I would love to work with those guys again. They were amazing.
Yeah.
I know Righteous Gemstones is over, but I'm sure they've got something else in the works. Those guys are so talented.
Yeah. And how does that, in terms of behind the scenes, how did these things come out? Does this go back to your agent, or are you looking at projects that are in the works?
Most everything is agents. That's
Okay.
Case, the agent I was telling you about who became the casting director. He got me that audition too.
Oh, okay.
And that was another self-tape, and that it's interesting about that one because even though it's television, it was like a good 3 weeks before I got called and got cast, which that never happens. And then in
Yeah.
classic, like last minute, they were like, you have to be in Wilmington by 7 PM. Like
Uh,
it was like 10 AM.
so, I mean, that seems like a pretty vulnerable position to be in as an actor, where you kind of don't control anything.
You
I mean,
don't.
other than when you get the part.
Yeah, and even then they were gonna call me back on Eastbound and Down, and I was doing a play at the Horizon, which they've been absolute champs about me because I told them, I said, "Just so you know, I have my suitcase in my car, and at any given moment, I may have to drive and be back, and leave." And they were great about it. I mean,
Mhm.
now that so much has happened in Atlanta, a lot of theaters are willing to get understudies and whatnot. That's more common, but
Mhm.
that wasn't common at the time. This is like 2011, 12 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about that dynamic, because I think that's interesting that you came back to Atlanta, then you moved to California.
Yes, we'll see.
Then
Yeah, when Hunger Games.
tell us.
Yes, LA is great. I loved LA. Hunger Games came out, and I figured was about to come out, and I was like, well, I've always wanted to give LA a shot, so why not, go out while riding the wave of Hunger Games? So, yeah, it
Mm,
was LA's expensive, well, not unlike New York. but I really enjoyed my time there. At the time I started like redabbling in because you don't get as many auditions and you don't, it's just such a bigger market. I started,
Mm.
going back to my like writing and things like that. So I started dipping back into that, which I think was really helpful too.
Yeah. So talk to us about that and how that spawned and why you become someone who wants to create, direct, showrun.
I mean, I think a lot of it comes out of just my own need to keep some kind of creativity going even in the downtimes. And I started
Mm.
writing in college. Like I had this credit to fill and I didn't want to take a class that started before 11 a.m.
Yeah. You're not a morning person is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Relatable, right? So and I had this one credit left, and on studio days, which were the acting days, like our days were from like 9 a.m. till like midnight sometimes. So on the days where
Mhm.
I had my quote unquote real classes, as they called them, I just wanted them all to start at like 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And so there's this writing for I can't remember what it was called, like writing for actors or something, but it's in the dramatic writing program at NYU, which is they have a great
Mhm.
program. And I wrote like the first act of a play in that class, and the teacher was very encouraging. She's like, "You really got, you're really talented at this." And then but then I would get so busy, like when I was in Atlanta, I'd be so busy, which is great, auditioning and being in plays and being in films and stuff, that I kind of put that aside. And then I feel like it's come full circle because I'm back to returning to doing that and really wanting to focus
Mm.
on that. And
Yeah.
and I think that uh, being older, which I've already like, not supposed to be telling you my age and the years I graduated high school anyway, Jason, but what are you going to do? We're older. I'm older. Like whatever. That makes people like, I know there's this like a fascination with young people staying young, being young, all that. But like,
Mhm.
I think that when you get older, you have more stories to tell. Your
Yeah.
perspective gets richer, and I really want like the reason the production company I started is called Too Hard to Sell Productions because when I was in LA, I got told all the time that a woman over 35 was just going to be too hard to sell. And so I was like, oh,
Mm.
okay, well that's ridiculous. So yeah,
Is that a story they just tell themselves, or do you think they actually live it? It actually is true.
I mean, I do think, as it, even like Meryl Streep, they all talk about as you get older, the role, I mean, it's changed a little bit, but the roles for women over 40 really dwindle for
Mhm.
sure. And they can very much lean into a certain type of
Mm.
person.
Like a very narrow.
Yeah, like divorced with kids, married with kids, something with kids. There's very few stories about women over 40 that aren't dealing with some kind of kids. And that's a reality. Of course, that is a part of a woman over
Yeah,
40s. A lot of women over
but
40s.
there's a lot more that could be
So
explored.
much more. There is so much more. So yeah, so I just decided like I wrote a script. The first short film I wrote and directed, a friend of mine had a production company and he really liked it, wanted to play the guy in it. I was about two insomniacs that fall in love in the middle of the night. And
Yeah,
right, relatable. Who among us? I used to be a big insomniac, right?
yeah.
And he's like, "Let's do it. Let's make this happen." And then they offered so like, he and I were gonna do it together acting wise. And then he and his partner approached me and they were like, "Well, we think you should also direct it. Would you be interested in doing that?" And had he not asked, I would have probably like I would have never occurred to me. But then when I
Oh, yeah,
directed my first short,
yeah.
like a lot of things came together for me. Like I feel like it was a combination of everything I've done. It had been building up to that kind of thing. I know lots of
Yeah.
very like a lot of actors like I would like to direct. But I really feel like it just put together a lot of what I like my strengths are as a performer, as a creative. And so then from then on I just started to like the second we're talking outside like so then the second thing
Is that a shark?
it's like you're not paying attention to me. So I will
You just watch your foot. It might get a bite and a
I know
nibble.
I'm gonna steal all your focus. And then the next short I wrote, it was like COVID. And I had just read this. Have you read the book Like Brothers by Mark and Jay Duplass? Oh my god,
Uh-uh.
it's such an inspiring book on how to just make stuff with what you have. Like they have this whole chapter
Yeah.
in that called like the cavalry is not coming. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and even when the
I like
cavalry
that.
comes, they're gonna disappoint you. So I was just sitting with my friend who's a theater actress, and she's part of my, what was it, my our pod, this very small group of people you saw in person.
Yeah.
And I was sitting with her in her house, and I'm like, "You're so talented." And she's never done anything on camera before, and she was talking about how that scared her. And I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna write you something. I'm gonna write you something,
Mm.
and you're gonna fall in love with your Amazon delivery guy." Like, so, like, and we shot it in her house, and I hired my friends, and again, it was a really fun day, and I was starting to learn a little bit more about directing, and I hired
Yeah.
I've had everything I've shot, if I've had a director of photography, I've always hired a female because I think that's important. And because the only professionally, I've worked with three for female DPs, and two of them I've hired. One
Oh,
of them
okay.
was Ari
Wow.
Wagner, who was nominated for The Power of the Dog. She was amazing. Um, we worked on Zola together. But yeah, so
Yeah.
like it's usually it comes out of need
Mm.
for me to stay creative, and then um and also wanting to like hire people who I know who I think are really talented, you know?
Yeah.
And even this project I'm just beginning to like get together now. So slow in Atlanta, and like everyone I know, no one's working. And I'm like, well, why don't I just try to make something and hire people who I think are talented and give them chances to have some fun, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's my attitude is like I want you to have a fun day on set, you know?
Yeah.
On set and give people opportunities to do things they've never done before. This last short that I shot over the summer about Bigfoot, entirely female crew, and they were all students from like a local college, and they'd never done it before. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you have to do it at some point. Like, try it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm of the philosophy of like, try it. Why not? Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. There's a lot of cool ideas there. And it's helpful to just think you could do something with what you have.
Yeah.
Whatever you have. I've been playing with YouTube for about a year now,
Tell me,
getting
what
more.
have you been doing with that?
So I've been just getting more serious with it. Before 2025, I was just using it to publish my podcast. But last year I decided, I want to get monetized and I want to, turn this into something.
Yes.
And so I started doing more videos. I kept doing the podcast, but I started doing other videos where I was doing monologues. My wife, we bought a cargo van, a Ram ProMaster cargo van, and she's remodeling it into a bookmobile.
Stop.
It's a
That's
magic.
amazing.
And so I'm doing a series. We've got 20 episodes so far, and I'm documenting the series of her transforming this into this mobile book library, the Magic School Bus.
I love
So
that.
she was going to do that, and then I'm doing this thing. I was like, why don't we do it together?
Yes.
And it kind of opened up ideas and opportunities. And so I started doing some other things. And so my mindset this year
Hmm.
was for YouTube. I'm going to think of my YouTube channel through the mindset of a showrunner.
That's great.
And I don't know what that means yet, but that's just I'm trying to think in that way, and it's giving me ideas that I didn't have before.
Oh, I love that. Well, here, let me ask you this. So, do you see the future of other platforms that maybe aren't as saturated as YouTube as being also another outlet, or
Yeah, so I would think of it like Finding Nemo comes to mind, where the turtles are going through that like
yeah,
the stream, like the riptide
yeah,
thing.
correct.
YouTube is, I think, this massive channel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a place to where everyone's kind of going.
Yeah.
And then you have these kind of off ramps that go in different places. And that's where I think what you're saying is like these different other pieces
Mm-hmm.
are places that you can use YouTube to kind of connect with people and
Mm.
find people that want to go into those little eddies, those little sidebars. There's a YouTube film critic, Patrick Willems, and he's creating some original content on this other platform, but he does these YouTube videos. But then he talks about, hey, go in this other platform, sign up for this thing, and it's independent creators
Mm-hmm,
making
mm-hmm.
stuff, and you pay a subscription fee. So I'm seeing a lot of that. You got Patreon and other channels. Yeah. So I definitely think that's there, and there's a lot to be done. The way I'm kind of thinking of it is YouTube is sort of like the foundational piece, and then those other
Yeah.
pieces can be ones I build later. I'm a freelancer and I do marketing consulting work, and I have a really good book of business. So I have like financially, I'm
Yeah.
set, but I want to figure out how to make the storytelling, content creation side
Yes.
of it more financially viable. So I'm trying to figure that out.
I love that. I would love, like, I would love to talk to you about, you and I were
Yeah.
talking about beforehand, like the logistics parts.
Hmm.
I struggle with the producing aspect. Like I can do it,
Yeah.
but I don't really, you know,
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it's changing so much and
so
so
much.
fast. I mean, YouTube is now the number one streaming platform. It just passed Netflix, I think.
What?
A lot of movie studios are actually consulting with people that understand YouTube, like, what should we be doing? And
Right.
so they're way, way behind on YouTube side of it where they're not really tapping into it the way they
Mhm.
should be. For the next generation, I was talking to some people earlier today and they're younger, just out of high school, and they watch a little bit of TV and some movies, but they really mostly watch YouTube.
Yeah, it's
So,
so true. They mostly watch, like my niece mostly watches YouTube.
yeah.
Well, she's 12.
So, how do you reach that audience? You got to be there and at least have a transitory plan. So, when you look back at your journey, there was the Megan that started this journey. That was the fourth grader, and there's the Megan you now. Like, how have you changed?
Gosh, that's a really good question. Honestly, I feel like a lot of it is returning to that
Mm,
girl, like who was really introverted, who was really like loved being creative by herself and really loved to play, right?
yeah.
If I had told like 14-year-old me who wanted to be an actress, who knew she wanted to be an actress, hey, it's gonna be a long journey. It's gonna take a long, like you're in it for the long game, the marathon, not the
Yeah.
sprint. I would have been like pissed, you know? I gotta be like, what is it?
I want it now.
Yeah, now, immediately. Like, where are my 3 Oscars by the time I'm 30 or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
But I have to say, like, journey I've been on, I'm really grateful for because of where I've come personally. I feel like just more than ever, like more comfortable in my own skin,
Mm,
happier. And in that respect, and just not afraid of like every aspect of myself. Like there's so many things that are fear based, and I'm still
hmm.
obviously with me. I'm trying to take the fearlessness I've had in my work and apply it also to life.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I used to like when I act, I'm all out, right? I'm not scared of it at all. If it's really scary and like I have to die or do whatever, I love stuff like that, right? But then in
Mm,
life, I can be really timid and like not take up space.
uh,
And it's a merging of those two parts of me. And so I think that, yeah, I think it's kind of like my creative journey and my personal journey are so intertwined that the little girl in me is like, yes. Although at the time she probably would have been like, I want it now, like Veruca Salt. So,
yeah. Yeah.
um,
So talk to us about that fear dynamic and the willingness to take risks.
I can be really scared, honestly. Like I'm
Yeah.
afraid there's a big part of me that's afraid to ask for things, to put myself out there in that sense. Cause I desperately don't want to be like that actor that's always asking for favors or whatever. But if you're not, and I'm still working on that, like my 2026 goal is just to like go for it without
Yeah.
as much fear of like, you know, all anybody can do is say no. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's kind of my goal. Because yeah, I get really like, oh no, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to, like
Yeah.
that doesn't help anybody. That definitely doesn't help me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I'm
I
still
mean,
working on it.
if someone wants to be involved or wants to help you, you're actually robbing them of the opportunity to participate
That's right.
by not asking,
That's
you
right.
know?
That's exactly right. Like what I love, one of the things I love most about this business for me is that I love the collaboration. Like it is my favorite thing. Like I love
Mhm.
working with people. I love work
Yeah.
like I love being on set because I'm around people, even if I'm not like actively interacting with them. It's just
Mhm.
I love collaboration and I just want to create more opportunities for me and people of like a certain age and underrepresentation.
I think you have a unique perspective on what the industry, you could say, and the gaps and the stories that you could tell, and it needs you to step into that gap and fill it.
I want to, and I really also I really believe, because there's so much happening in like since the strikes, since before the strikes, I think there's going to be another indie wave, like a really authentic,
Yeah.
like from the 60s, Sundance before it was Sundance, indie making wave. Cause I think people are getting kind of tired of the mainstream stuff, you know? Like even Stranger Things, now that it's become this phenomenon, but
Yeah.
originally nobody wanted them to, they like got turned down by
Yeah.
everybody, you know?
Yeah, and if you go to the origin, they wanted to make a show about it by Stephen King,
Yes.
and they got turned down, and so they said, "Well, we'll make our own story." So that's why it has a lot of similar threads.
So similar.
Yeah, but it was one, it was that rejection that you're talking about is willing to be rejected, willing to create something new and put themselves out there, and, from everything I've read, it seems like the show was never expected to be such a big hit.
No, not at all.
It was like a one mini series, and then it was gonna be done after the 1st season, but now it's turned into this gigantic, enormous thing, so
Yeah.
people don't want it to end. No.
Exactly, and I think, like, Netflix took that risk, letting
Mhm.
them, because I even actually auditioned for, a role that was in the pilot that ended up going to Kat Dyer's amazing actress in Atlanta, but I mean, at the time, it was called the Untitled Duffer Brothers Project, like, it was.
Okay, yeah. So to your question,
Yeah.
what I would say is I believe I would kind of broaden it up, and I would say I think we're entering another artistic
Yeah,
renaissance
agreed.
era, and it's actually gonna manifest in a lot of different
Mhm.
ways. I do believe that, and I think it's gonna be there's a variety of factors that are converging to create that. Social media and YouTube and things like that are part of it. AI, I think, is an opportunity because it gives a lot of creators tools that they wouldn't have had access to.
Mhm.
There's some ideas I have about an animated story and a comic book that I couldn't do that myself,
Mhm.
nor do I have like funds to like pay someone to do it. But with AI, I might be able to get some creative things started, and then that could turn into something
Mhm, mhm.
that could be, more integrated. But just like the iPhone put a video camera in everyone's pocket, AI puts a lot of tools in creative people's pockets to do things. So I think we're in a kind of a very big and transformational time, and a lot of things are changing, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for people if they wanna step into it, but it's gonna be kinda scary because it's chaotic.
Yeah, it's chaotic, but I think that people ultimately are craving more just different stories and different things, you know?
What I would even add is different people need and want different
That's
stories.
right.
Avatar has made $1 billion now, or Zootopia. It has a mass appeal, but there are a lot of movies that, like, do a lot more for me than those did, like the new Marty Supreme. I love the new movie, and it was a kind of like a movie for me,
Yeah, of course.
and so it's got a smaller audience. So I think, to your point, I think there's a lot of stories that there's a story scarcity
Mhm,
or
that's
story
so
famine,
true.
for different types of stories. Some stories, there's probably abundance of them, but for a lot of stories, there's none of them.
I totally,
So,
and I think you're right, artistic renaissance. I'm hoping that's what's gonna happen. I definitely
yeah,
wanna be a part of it because, yeah, it seems like it's heading that way. We're in the times we're living, it seems like that's where we're.
yeah. And you also have a lot of just societal and world chaos going on and craziness,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's you tend to have a lot of creative explosions in history when those types of things are
Yeah, like the
unfolding.
'60s, like, think about the art that came out of the '60s, right? If you think about the
Yeah.
last time there was a real, like, chaotic time.
So what's next for you? What are some that you wanna talk about any of the projects on your
Well, I
plate
did just
or
finish writing, like, a little short that's kind of like
okay.
almost like a movie trailerish for something that hopefully will be a bigger like, a longer thing. Um, yeah, and I literally just finished the draft of it 2 days ago, and I'm just trying to, figure out ways, funding, getting it done. I think it would be low budget, but there's certain things you gotta spend money for, like sound. I learned in my last short that I
Mm,
shot, I didn't really have great sound, and you could tell, you know what I mean? But yeah, and
yeah,
just
sound is a big one.
yeah, sound is, you can't fake it, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my goal of the year is to just write more, generate more of my own stuff, and hopefully have talented people that I believe in on board for it, you know?
Yeah. And if people want to connect with you, like, do you have a website? Are you on social media? What's the
Yeah.
place for them to go?
I mean, I'm on I'm Megan Hayes Actor on Instagram,
Okay.
which is one of the best ways to reach me. I'm also on TikTok as not a cat person at all.
Which sharing cat videos?
That's exactly sharing my foster cat journey. But yeah, those are
Yeah.
great. My website needs a serious update. It's been like
Yeah.
forever since I've updated my website, but you can reach me at meganhayes.net as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Instagram seems like the main one
good one.
for those that want to connect with you.
Please.
Ask about their Morphling conspiracy
Anytime.
theories.
Somebody just posted today, somebody tagged me in a post and said that, like, what is the, like, death or something that everybody forgets about and how important it was, and I was like, "Yes!"
The Catching Fire was the quarterly quell, right? Where they bring them back for the second. They're the winners and they bring them back. So
Kind of like Survivor All-Stars.
yeah. So I think the important question is if they decide to do a spin-off of the female Morphling and they cast a younger version of you, who do you cast to play
Ooh,
you?
it's me? That's such a good question.
I mean, in the one that's coming out, it's Woody Harrelson's character when he's younger, and they've recast him. So where they're gonna do one for you, we gotta
Oh,
know
right,
who
'cause
that's gonna
who
be.
did they recast as Woody Harrelson? I forgot.
Let me look. Let's see.
But that Jesse Plemons is playing Phil Seymour Hoffman's younger self.
Yes, and he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's perfect casting. And who's playing and isn't Elle Fanning playing young Effie?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Effie. Maya Hawke is Wireless.
Oh god, that's perfect.
So Joseph Zada is playing Haymitch.
Okay. Oh my god, that's perfect though for Maya Hawke for
Yeah.
Amanda Plummer. Gosh, that's a really good question. I mean, you know who? Vicky. Vicky from Stranger Things.
Okay. Okay.
What's her name? Amy Beth McNulty?
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me
Did you
just
see
double.
Anne with an E? Did you ever watch that series on Netflix?
I didn't. Is
Oh
she in it?
she's Anne of Green Gables, and she's freaking great.
Oh wow.
She's
So she
wonderful.
had pretty.
So yeah, Vicky. Amy
Okay.
Beth McNulty.
Amy Beth McNulty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've her since Anne with an E. I think she'd be good young Morphling, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, and it's before she becomes a drug addict, so
Yeah, I think
she doesn't have to lose weight like you did.
I loved Anne with an E. I think she's just brilliant in it. So yeah, and I loved her as Vicky. I was so happy when I was like, wait, that looks, oh my god, it's Anne with an E. Like I was so happy to see her pop up.
To close us out here,
Yeah.
do you have any final words of wisdom for other aspiring actors
Yes.
if they're listening or watching this?
Don't worry about it. Just do it. Don't worry about just don't, it's so easy to get caught up in your own like fears of rejection and fears of people not liking you or fears of failure or just fears. I can tend to make myself really small. Don't just say fuck it if I'm allowed to cuss. Just do it. Go for it. I wish I'd started going for it younger. That's the only thing I wish. Just like really going for it and keeping at it. And just, just don't worry about it. Just do it. And stay and as long as you do it and like just be kind as you do it, but stay kind and true to yourself. But just don't worry about it and just go for it.
Yeah. And I think that's your next phase is helping more young girls do that,
I
right?
hope so. I mean, I am working on it myself right now, so I know it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
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 For sure.
So and that's a good point is like, when you're older, it's not like you've got it all figured out either.
Oh my god, no.
You're just starting to realize how much you don't have it figured out.
Being older, that's kind of like the relief. Like when you realize you don't have everything figured out, you're like, oh my god, that's so nice. Yeah.
Yeah, liberating. Yeah. Any other final thoughts?
No, this has been such a joy, Jason. I'm so glad we reconnected. You're amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing your story and let's have some more conversations.
Can we please keep in touch? For real.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Are you a freelancer struggling to get clients and sustain an income? Check out Jason Montoya's book, Path of the Freelancer, where he provides the blueprint for mastering freelancing and sustaining a business of one. Start generating a six-figure freelancing income